And a very warm welcome to what is week 11 of Making Nations, Making States. We have only got 2 sessions remaining, guys. The end is very much in sight. And in this week's penultimate session, we are going to be exploring propaganda. Now, propaganda is something that has been coming up in pretty much every single session when you are exploring the history and evolution of political nationalism. It is an almost inescapable theme. However, we're going to dive deep into the specifics of propaganda and really think about where it's coming from in that 19th century context. I am filming this at around about 20 past 11 on Saturday night. It is very, very cold out here, but the weekend is running out on me, so I've got to film it at some time. So I apologise if I am shivering at points in this, because it is pretty cold. For our penultimate session, we are going to finish off these Shining Stars, or Shining Fates, as it's called in the UK. These Shining Fates cards. Let's face it, last week's cards were a bit of a bust. One shiny holographic Pinkerton card is all we got last week. So let's hope that as we have, I've got 5 packs remaining. I'm just going to keep going until something comes out of this set. And let's hope we get penultimate week luck as we go through the very end of our cards and at the very end of this module. So, propaganda. We have seen it come up in pretty much every single session, but we're going to be looking at it in perhaps a more relatable sense. We're going to be looking at propaganda, posters and banners, and really thinking about the way in which messages are being communicated to the public. We're starting off with lightning, electric energy. I wanted to throw some quotes at you about propaganda and how it was being viewed in the 19th century. I've got a couple of things up on screen in front of me here. As we get Ball Guy, it's our second Ball Guy of this season of pulls. Blanchard Gerald, a British journalist writing in the latter part of the 19th century, came out with this wonderful quote that the manufacture of public opinion remained long in its infancy, but has made extraordinary strides of late years. Since public opinion has become the motive power by which ministries are sustained and overthrown, since legislative answers to it as the electric bell answers to the pressure of a button, it is important to mark how this dominant force may be created, influenced or directed. And I think the language of that quote, which dates to about 1883, is really important in terms of acknowledging that there is an awareness, sort of an awakening, if you like, that public opinion is both important, but it's also something that needs to be controlled, and it's something that can very deliberately and directly be manipulated, shaped, and directed, so that I suppose people are thinking the right things. Is that a swimming Eevee? Yeah, it's a swimming Eevee. Cool. To put that in a little bit more context, we can also reflect on attitudes coming out of Germany. What is that card? Oh my goodness! I couldn't make it's an amazing rare and forget the Crobat V. I mean, it's not shiny. Oh, look at you! I didn't even know this was in their set. Eveltal. Oh, look at you! Look at you! Ah, you can't. It's such a remarkable card. It can't focus. Look at that. Well, we knew we had to get something. Centering is appalling. The centering of this is terrible. But that aside, Yveltal, amazing rare. It's been so long since I've seen an amazing rare. I kind of forgot what you're supposed to call them. Wow, epic. Okay, and that was in the first pack. First pack luck. Yveltal, amazing rare, and a Crobat V. I was asking for some better pulls, and we're right in there. Wow. Okay, well, yeah, you know, it's a winning set from here. I don't have to exhaust the pack because we're already onto a winner. Where was I? I was going to talk about propaganda from a Germanic perspective. Frederick Gentz, earlier part of the 19th century, reflecting on public opinion once more, wrote that public opinion ought not to be neglected or disdained for a single moment. Instruction and guidance must be the permanent concern of the princes. They should exert their influence upon the ideas and principles of the age in all explicit ways, through frequently repeated solemn declarations, through publications, through sermons, and through the education of the people. Educating people with fighting energy to think the right things, to be looking in the right direction. So, bookend the 19th century with reflections from British journalists through to German politicians. There is a very strong consciousness of the power of public opinion and a perception of the need to control it. So I think that's really interesting. Just the sort of the sense of awareness. Wait a minute. Was that 2 Morpecos, or we've just seen lots of Morpecos? I think we just had lots of Morpecos in these pools. So we're going to be taking that as our sort of our starting point, those political awakenings of the value of propaganda, and we'll be exploring some of the ways in which it's manifest. Now we'll touch upon some of Routlet again, and another Morpeco, berry-bound Morpeco, so much Morpeco, and it's a shiny Buttlebee! Oh, what's the last card? Oh, it's Zarude. Zarude's fine, but there we go. Oh, so, I mean, what have we got? We've got Amazing Rare, we've got Crobat V, and we've got Bumblebee. And okay, maybe that's not the greatest shiny cards that we can hope to pull, but it's still a shiny. That's not bad at all. All right, this is shaping up to be a good week. Let's keep going. Let's keep ripping these cards and see what happens. Third pack. We've already had a lot of luck so far. You know, I can't be complaining too much. I am cold. I feel like I'm getting ill just by being in here making this video. But you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it for the cards. And to be able to spend this extra bit of time with you all on this fine Saturday night. Let's keep it going with fire energy. Wouldn't it be great to have a small heater in this outdoor office in the middle of the night? One day we'll do it. So we are going to be looking at those more. What is with this card? We can't escape this card at the moment. We're going to be looking at some of those more familiar forms of propaganda. So, you know, the old Kitchener poster we'll get in there. We'll look at lots of wartime propaganda. So those posters compelling, in particular, compelling men to go to war. And also think about some of the ways in which, again, adult men were being sort of manipulated by the state. You see a lot of our posters that play on the idea of pride, but you also see posters that, in a sense, are almost looking to shame people who don't go to war. And we'll look at some of those examples during the course of the session, which I think are really, really striking as well. But we'll also look at the way in which messages are being communicated to children. Come on! Look at that! It is! Forget that one! That's the one we want! It's shiny! Full art! Rillaboom V! Ah! How about that? Could it be any better? What a set of card pulls! 1 week left! Propaganda! And Rillaboom shiny holographic! Oh! And this time the centering looks really, really tight. Front and back! Oh! Ah, yes. That will do, guys. Should we do one more? Just to see what's in these packs. Who knows? I mean, you know, last week I tried to make the best of things. Try to keep a positive outlook on the card pulls that we had. But But let's face it, last week's card pulls were rubbish, as indeed have most of the card pulls, Psychic Energy, for 2021. But in these 3 packs, I mean, Amazing Rare, Rillaboom, Full Art, Holographic. We'll go through these fairly quickly, because, you know, the night's wearing on, it's getting cold. This video is already a lot longer than I normally do it, but the card pulls have been kind of epic, so, you know, why stop when we're on a roll? And we've only got 2 packs left in this set anyway, so we may as well just see what we got. See what we got in these. So yeah, what I was saying before Rillaboom interrupted us with its presence was that we'll also be looking at some of the ways in which messages were conveyed to children. We'll look at some brilliant examples of overt children's propaganda from the sort of the, as we go into a First World War period. We're looking at what a weird set to finish. There wasn't even a holographic in there. That's bizarre. For the set that we've just had, to go to a set of cards with no holos at all is really bizarre. This is the last pack. This is the last Shining Fates pack that we have from that Elite Trainer box. So, you know, whatever happens from here, I'm not complaining. That Rillaboom card has really sort of saved the day in terms of this set. But yeah, so the point I was trying to make in terms of drawing attention to Steel Energy, drawing attention to the way in which children were being communicated to in terms of propaganda, is the preparation of people for, and this is something we started talking about at the very beginning of this module, dying for the nation. And we've asked the question through the work of Benedict Anderson as well, how are people prepared to die for the nation? How do we get to that point? Routlet again. Routlet again. How many times have we seen this card? This is ridiculous. Used to quite like Routlet, but I have a rage against Routlet now. Communicating messages to children that fighting for and dying for the nation through playful, whimsical storybooks is a very effective way of solidifying that idea in youth that runs through with children into adulthood. So the children who are being conditioned into believing that warfare is a good thing around about the time of the First World War are those who are going to be the soldiers of the Second World War. So there is a sort of that's Confagorous. No, it's not Confagorous. It's Rudigenius, and it's another reverse shiny holographic. That's pretty good. I cannot complain on these pulls. Last card. It's something. It's Clamorant V, but he's not holographic. But we'll take Clamorant V. Why do I always call him Clamorant? I always call it Clamorant. Cramorant, not Clamorant. Anyway, beautiful cards. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. Let's just have the Rillaboom. Where's the Rillaboom? Where's the Rillaboom? And where's our Yveltal? There's our Yveltal. Awesome. I'm just going to have these up here. I'm going to put these in slides in a little bit. So yeah. So that's our narrative. What have we been going on for almost 15 minutes now? I should really shut up and call it a day. But that's going to be our theme. We're going to be looking at propaganda, thinking about the way in which people are conditioned to believe that dying for the nation is a good thing. And we'll be looking at it in a number of different ways. I'm also going to fold in some material that I did from last year's class in this module on propaganda at Christmas time, something we didn't really get a chance to talk about because it's the summer. But there's some brilliant material in that session which I'd like to introduce you to as well. But there we go. That is our class for this week. This is our intro video for the week. I'm going to turn off the camera now and just spend some time looking at these two cards because they're beautiful. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. As ever, huge amount of fun doing this. Very much looking forward to seeing you all on Monday. And remember, we've got one more set of cards to pull, and there's a Champion's Path Elite Trainer box there. What are you guys going to do to convince me to open that? maybe make some contributions on the mic during class on Monday. Do that and we might open it up for next week. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of the weekend. I will see you all on Monday morning.